We traveled on that old asphalt Nile all over the country, jumping out, and we coined our little term video buccaneers, and it's very apt. That's what we do. We jump out and steal the images, make little raids.
Went from his element, his New England kind of element, to like the road, becoming an artist. He could have been an engineer, technical engineer or something. But he liked music. He liked wearing, comfortable outfits. And he liked to travel. He liked to meet people. He wanted to be loved. He wanted to be, on his terms. This is what I do.
I love getting up in the morning, getting into the motorhome with my friends Willie and Tapley, making my cup of cappuccino in the back, starting that engine up and heading down the road, on our way to some adventure, but also open to any other possibility that might occur along the way if we had our eyes open, and of course we did.
I'd done some road trips in my earlier life, but I was only 23 years old, hadn't been around too much, and I just took the chance to join this guy on his journey, on his adventure, and become part of it.
And I met him at Arts and Crafts again. And then we went on art tool lectures together. We went to colleges together and did show and tell. So then he got bigger equipment, bigger van, and he needed a crew, and we got work and we went out on the road.
Nobody ever discussed roles. It wasn't like, okay, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. This is why I'm hiring you. Dana never had a job description when we went out there with him, and you can't even really call it when he hired us. It's just like when we all left together. It's not like I'm calling you up, I'm hiring you to do this. It's just sort of happened. I don't know.
One would be sleeping. One would be sitting around, being a servant in case somebody needed a drink of water or a cracker or something. Somebody looking for a map, exits, maybe somebody be shooting out the window, maybe somebody's sighting something. Look, an escaped gorilla, something like that might happen. A UFO, you're always wondering if something's going to happen, and you're ready,
Somebody needed to go into these situations and schmooze the people and stroke them and get them to let us jump out with the big guns and not intimidate them. Because if you just pull up someplace and you jump out with that right in their face, right away you turn somebody off. So you want to get there, you want to ease into, you want to drink a gallon or two of Jack Daniels, a couple cases of beer, hang out all night, eat cooter and gator and turtle and hearts of palm.
Because not everybody can be hanging out like I. I stay up with them all night, drink beer. And then and I say, would you remind me to tell Dana that story? Because I don't know if I remember.
Das Van was a she, for sure. Very temperamental she, very possessive. Didn't like it when we wanted to go off and have fun without her. And she'd break down. She'd stop us.
Well, I would say when I was driving and the front wheel came off and it was up my butt. When I'm driving 80 miles an hour, I'm not supposed to be doing that, but and Tapley kind of comes up and he's over there. I go, okay, just ease it up. Don't jam on your brakes. Just slowly go over. And I go, so we're doing pretty good. But it was like on three wheels, boom, boom. And then Dana says, what's going on? What's going on? And we can't see him because, we're busy trying to hold the van from flipping over. What's going on? Oh no. I said, the wheel's up my butt. He's going, and he gets down on the floor. And his head duck and hide, from World War II, It was like I said, oh, okay, so we're gonna live, don't worry.
Dana had his luxury suite in the back that actually was big enough bed for 2 people. He had a door, he had privacy, the bathroom was right there. He had muffin fans that blow air on him, and he had a place for magazines and snacks, and he had Molly, and he was the king, King B. Dana, and we were definitely the serfs.
As a member of the crew here, you gain a certain affection for your own 10 square feet.
And Tapley and Willie both say it's like living in my upper bureau drawer, but they do have their own spaces. This is Tapley's space, and this is Willie's space.
My favorite time was late night driving, and I'd put on maybe some Jackson Browne or something that had a lot of relationship to being on the road, and just crank it up and just go.
Looking at the road rushing under my wheel. Looking back at the years gone by like so many summer fields. 65, I was 17.
Before it was art. Now we got to make some money. We got this big bus. You got to pay the bills. You got to buy the gas. You got to make some money.
Well, we were doing Showtime, What's Up America, Chuck Braverman Productions, and we were doing the documentary there. We were doing 6 to 12-minute documentaries all over the country. At the same time, we're picking up postcards.
The big ones, those are the big ones that really got us out on the road and brought Willie and Dana and I together as a team, and where we really went on the pretty amazing adventures.
Try not to confuse it with what you do to survive. 69, I was 21.
One of the other great stories was Eddie Martin, or St. Eam, who was this bohemian beatnik kind of jazz guy who lived way off in the backwoods of Georgia, and who had migrated down there sometime in the 50s or something from New York City and started his own world. He created his own universe that he called Passaquan.
He was an artist from Brooklyn, old guy, but he thought he could levitate if he put copper coins on his nipples or something. And he thought that if he weaved his beard and then tied it to the top of his head, he could get to another state of consciousness. And I think he did.
He'd say, if one braids one's beard up like this, it can fall, it can cause you to levitate oneself.
The hair braided up and pulled into its natural design can control levitation in the human body. That's a very broad statement, but I spent 45 years pursuing it and haven't proved it yet.
I got an NEA grant. I came out to Colorado, and we're going to do this story with Wild Will, doing hunt for freshwater mermaids. So we found a glacier lake. We found all these girls that we could talk into being naked to swim in the lake. I had all these inflatable love dolls, which were decoys, like ducks. And then after we do like 16-hour days, he says, "Okay, well, it's your turn to get out. Before we pack up, let's see if you can come up with stuff." So sometimes that works. Jump in the snake pit. You woke up in the morning, you might wash your face. You got the percolator going. Now we had a cappuccino machine. I think one of the first ones had steamed milk and espresso. You could do espresso, it had the grinder. And we'd have that, and now Tapley liked tea, so he could have tea. The guy, we liked it, and had a foamy cappuccino. We'd have that, there'd be a little toaster oven. We'd be toasting English muffins. He liked the wheat with peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter on it.
There were these 2 dice that I believe Jilly made. These little ceramic dice that had little icons on them, little emblems and symbols, and we'd roll the dice. It was a thing we do on pretty much any of our transitions, like take off in the morning to drive, you roll the dice, see how it comes up. You're going to a party, you think you might have romance, so you roll the dice and see if it comes up lips and hearts or if it comes up lightning bolts and clouds, You throw lightning bolts and clouds, and then 4 hours later you break down. They worked. was really an adventure of discovery for me, of becoming part of Dana's myth in a way, and flowing down that old road with him and just seeing what would happen around the next bend. It was great. I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. Best years of my life. After that last major breakdown where the van really ate it, you know, the front end broke, and then when we were having it towed, the rear end fell off, and it was fatigued. The poor baby was tired. She just didn't want to go anymore. And
It was like collapsing a lot, you know. Almost cheerful, you know, like, you know, wires burning up, fires, wheels falling off, axles falling off, you know, the frame dropping like this, the last 10 feet, you know, going like this. It was on its last legs.
Back on the road and we're losing time. The motherfucking water pump starts to die. Towed into a Texaco, we're all uptight. Tappy's gonna have to work the whole damn night. Eat shit, motherfucker, die right now. 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 Two flat tires in the town of Cove. These two locals are my only hope. Wheels too big for the tire machine. Blew them on with either, it was quite a scene. Then the engine blew and the van caught fire. Steering came loose and we lost a tire. Axle broke and we nearly flipped. Call this the 85 disaster trip. Eat shit, motherfucker, die right now. Eat shit, motherfucker, die right now. Eat shit, motherfucker, die right now. Eat shit, motherfucker, die right now.
there's a certain amount of freedom and adventure, you know, discovering what's around the next turn, not knowing what you're going to be doing. And a lot of the time we were on the road, we'd have a goal of where we were going, what we were going to do, but there was enough time in between that you could discover and take chances and take adventures and take risks. And you know, that's one of the things I think Dana really shared with me and I learned from him is that kind of that sense of adventure. He was really my mentor, you know, and I learned so much from him about going out on the edge and just taking the chances.
What I miss is the ride. What I miss is the show. But we got plenty of stuff here. We're gonna fix it. We'll make it fit.
Sunset driving, Dana's favorite time to drive, of course, was sunset, which was we called the magic hour. And he'd boot me out of the driver's seat and take the wheel, and we'd make up a tray of Triscuits and cheese on one of the girls' little painted plates, very special. Always on those plates, never on a paper plate or anything. And Dana'd start driving, light up one of his stinky cigars, and we'd have to crack the window, which of course pulled the smell of the holding tank up.
Well, he's a friend. You miss him. You don't realize it yet, you know, because you say he's probably on the road somewhere. You know, that's what you're thinking. He's busy editing something. You know. You can't imagine, you know, that he's gone yet. I can't either. You know, maybe that's the way I deal with it.
No, I mean my whole life, most of my adult life was spent in my relationship with Dana and traveling, or even afterwards of doing things with him and having him there. Even if I didn't see him for a year, he was just there as a part of what it is. You know, I honeymooned in the motorhome. I met my wife in the motorhome. My first kid might have been conceived in the motorhome. We're not quite sure. But it's a river that runs so deep that there's not a specific. It's just there. It's just so much a part of who I am.
My feeling that one of the most viable, interesting things that this country has to offer is the people that live here and what they are doing, and it makes me feel good to be connected with that on a very much on a grassroots level, to collaborate with these people, to spend time. And of course, most importantly, I have the documents, I have the evidences of all these collaborations, the films, the videotapes, the stories, the slides, the music, it's all there. And I figure maybe when I'm 60 or 70 years old and can't drive anymore and I'm sitting out on my front porch in Colorado, maybe my grandchildren will come up and they'll say, "Hey, Grandpa, how about that time when you were out in Kent back in 1972 with Bobby, you went up in that parachute?" And I'll be able to go and I'll get out the slides and I'll play the song that I've written about Bobby, and, you know, I'll continue the role of the storyteller. I like that a lot.